So this is an example of a cash on cash return. So your net operating income for, let's say it's an apartment complex, is $800,000 annually, and then you minus the debt service, what you're paying to pay off the loan you borrowed, 75,000, and you divide that by the equity that you invested, which is 100,000, equals your cash on cash. What you put in is 7.3% return in this example. The internal rate of return, and these are all different metrics that different people care for different reasons. There's not one size fits all. It's just the way people look at their investment, their risk tolerance, and how they see the project, same numbers in, different numbers out. The internal rate of return, or IRR, is the discounted rate which makes the net present value of revenue flow equal to zero, or the investment equals to the present value of revenue flows. That's a lot to untangle, but it's easier to explain in a spreadsheet. And again, I can't get into too much depth tonight. Apartment valuations, cap rates are significant. Cap rate is the return you expect to get for your investments. Cap rates are different per region, per product type. A cap rate of 8% on an apartment building in West LA, for example, I'm just randomly throwing numbers out, versus an office building in Orange County or San Diego. All different product types, different cap rates, and they fluctuate. Most people agree on them. Lenders and brokers they all agree that, yeah, that my expectation rate of return for that investment in that region is 8, 9, 10%, whatever it might be, down 3, 4%. Cash on cash return, the measures the annual rate return on your property in relation to your down payment, money you put down as cash. Your debt coverage ratio tells you how many times your cash flow covers your mortgage. So if you were cash flowing several $100 a month on your single family house, and your mortgage is X amount per month, how much more times can you pay off your mortgage in event that something happens bad? The holy trinity of numbers is a cap rate that is above an 8%. Wouldn't that be great? A cash on cash return of 12% are greater, and a debt cover ratio of 1.6 are better. You combine all of these matrix on one property, and you've hit the holy grail, and everything's wonderful. The rule of 72 is something I was taught when I was doing investments, and it's a financial approximation of the time it takes for money to double when earning compounded interest. Divide the percentage rate into 72 to derive the number of years for the principal to double. So if you have $1,000 investment, pay the 6% interest rates, compounded annually, it will take 12 years for the balance to be $2,000. 72 divided by 6% gets you 12 years. Waterfall payouts. These are fascinating, and I couldn't find my actual example, so I've got this other one here. But so what this explains is that if you have a big investment and you want to divide the proceeds not in just one tranche, but different tranches, you can do it over time. So let's say the rate of return on investment is 0% up to 10%. The sponsor, would be like the developer, gets 10% of that money, and 90% goes to the investor, the lender. If the investment returns between 10 and 15, then 20% goes to the sponsor and 80% goes to the lender. If it goes to 15% return, that means the developer has done a great job. He or she gets 40% return on the money made, profit made, and the investor gets 60%. So the more profit, the better the return for the investor, for the sponsor or the developer, and less for the investor. But the trade-off of that is that the investor's money is more secure as we go along. A 1031 exchange. This gets really complicated. I'm not the expert. 1031 is a code, a section of the Internal Revenue Code that deals with tax deferred exchange of certain properties.